What's it like inside?
Inside what?
Prison.
Oh, well, worst thing is you hardly ever see the sky. All bells and shouting and that. I think you're going mental.
Come on. Let's get these shot.
What was Andy thinking telling your dad? We agreed to stick to the story we told the police.
Well, I knew he'd crack. He's all over the place.
So what's Jack gonna do?
I'll tell the police, I suppose. And then they'll know we've all lied to them.
What then?
We wait for the world to fall on our heads.
Nicola, I can't mess about. I've got to be in Robertsfield in 10 minutes.
You cancelled. I've sent Pearl instead.
Nicola, it wasn't my fault the hamster made a nest in the sofa. The first I knew of it was a blockage in the vacuum cleaner.
Never mind that now. We have just landed the contract at the Millennium. And as my most responsible operative, I'm putting you in sole charge of the job. Now, move over and I'll brief you on the way. Come on. Right, it's at the King's. We've got to look.
Charity, good morning. Look, you wouldn't mind waiting with Damon until he's finished, would you? It's just I don't have time to stand around.
Neither do I.
Well, it won't take long. And if you could clear up after him too. You know, it's not so bad if you don't actually look at it. Bye, darling.
You're not trying to fob us off, are you, love? Because I'm not leaving till I get a statement out of him.
Dr. Morton was quite specific. No police interviews until she's seen him.
Dr. Morton's due back when?
When she's finished upstairs. Now, if you'd like to take a seat.
I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no problem. Come on.
Damon, were you a good boy for Charity?
Oh, he was a very good boy.
Oh.
Oh, and,
Damon. Well done, darling.
We'll have to move fast. As soon as the ads hit the property pages, they'll be snapped up.
Right, well, I'll give it some thought.
It would be a pleasure doing business with you. And to renew our working relationship, Anne.
I didn't know you'd worked with Eric before.
Yes, Charity was good enough to assist me on a freelance basis when I was running for councillor.
I had no idea you were a political animal.
Oh, woman of many talents, me.
Will you excuse me, Eric? I'm expecting a call.
Oh, of course. Right, afternoon.
So, work for Eric long, did you?
It was a one-off situation, actually. He needed help with his campaign. Nothing to get excited about.
You know Kiesel's out there.
He's not going to leave till I've given a statement.
Well, they can't make you talk to them, can they? Not till you're feeling better.
They're not going to just give up and go away, Robert. I can't fob them off forever.
Right, Jack, let's get your dressing sorted before the doctor sees you. Can you leave us to it, love? Thank you.
Very
Expensive.
See, we need more of these blue chip clients and less of the little old ladies who just want cats scraped off the sofa.
Right. Oh, it's exciting.
Smart yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Ladies.
Hi, we had a booking this morning for our platinum sprinkling service. I spoke to Mrs. King.
Sadie, it's for you.
You're not going right this minute, are you? Don't want to keep Jack waiting, do we, Victoria?
No. Give him my love.
Oh, hey, bacon butty. They keep you on short rations in hospital.
Do you not fancy another cup of tea? See you later. If you're that desperate for a drink, Donna, your mother does off sales.
Oh, it's all right, just looking for Marlon.
Oh, Donna, lovely to see you, as always, but my caramelised onions will be charcoal if I don't get back to my kitchen, so...
Well, you're off tonight, though, aren't you?
Well, bit of a last-minute change of plan. I'm working late again, aren't I, Louise?
You are? How about full English breakfast in the cafe tomorrow? My treat.
Well, I'd love to, but I'm going to walk the dog first thing, and it's back here for another early start, eh, girls?
Yeah, it's all hands on deck at the moment with Diane at the hospital all hours.
Some of the time, though, maybe.
Donna, will there be anything else? Because we actually don't open for another half an hour.
Best try again in a few weeks when he's got less on his plate. On his plate, do you get it?
She's persistent, I'll give her that.
Borderline bunny boiler, if you ask me. Just like her mother.
How was it?
Painful.
Well, you look better today. Got a bit more colour. When they finally get to speak to you, what are you going to say to the police?
Should be halfway at the hospital by now. Some help you are. Tell you, Rodney, I get more support from my tights.
Good morning to you too.
Are you ashamed of us or something?
Oh, the love that dare not speak its name.
No need to be facetious.
So what's scaring you so much?
Yeah, what's the worst thing she can do?
Well, the last thing she needs at the moment is a revelation like this. She's under so much stress it could tip her over.
When is Diane not under stress? No, Rodney. As my old grandmother used to say, procrastination is the enemy of progress. We go down to the hospital and fess up.
Yeah, well, I still think it's unethical to confront the poor woman with something of this magnitude over her lover's sickbed.
Yeah, still, at least you'd be in the right building, you know, with the A&E right next door. And to kill two birds with one stone, why don't you just tell her about your new job when you're at it?
You see? It's tactless at best and traumatic at worst.
OK, you're off the hook for the time being. As soon as Diane gets back, we're coming out of our closet. No more excuses. Yes, love. What can I get you?
You heard the woman, Rodney?
If you get banged up, then what's happened to me?
It's all out of my hands now.
Look, if he'd gas you up, the coppers would have been here by now.
They'll be on the way, don't worry.
You gonna throw all this away?
There's no point in fighting. It's too late.
I'm gonna have to go back into care. You promise you'd never let that happen to me?
I'm sorry.
Look, you promise you'd take care of me. You're my brother. You promise you'd never let anyone ever take me away.
I've let you down. I've let everyone down. That's what I do, innit?
So I'll see you in outpatients next week. But as far as I'm concerned, you're a free man.
You mean he can come home?
We don't want him getting too comfortable. We need that bed for the next patient.
Thanks, Doctor.
You're aware that the police are anxious to interview you. As far as I'm concerned, it won't compromise your recovery.
I'd like a minute to gather my thoughts, if that's okay.
Sure. Just let them know when you're ready.
Victoria, love. Your brother's going to take you to the cafe so me and Diane can have a chat.
Promise you'll be here when I get back.
I promise.
Please, Dad. Before you do it, just think.
Just woken up, so he is quite weak.
All right.
Just don't overdo it, okay?
Just bear in mind, once you've told the police, that's it. You can't take any of it back.
Glad to hear you're on the mend, Jack.
Thanks. If you won't mind leaving us to it.
So, in your own time, Jack, how about telling us exactly what happened on the night you found yourself on the wrong side of a shotgun?
Not sure the pub's the best place for this one.
Oh, there's no one smoking. We'll just sit here where it's quiet.
So you're poised to leap on Marlon as soon as he emerged from the kitchen, you mean?
No. I'll be right back.
What about a drink?
Hello again.
Oh.
Goodness, Donna, you're in here so often at the moment, you might as well move in.
Can I help you, Donnelly? You may have noticed I've got 2 plates of hot food in my hand and I'd kind of like to get them to my customers before they congeal.
Sorry.
Okay.
He's so professional, isn't he?
Not much of a talker yet, is he?
Poor kid, his mum's hardly a barrel of laughs at the moment.
That bad, is it?
Well, I just feel so out of things, you know. As if life's going on somewhere else to other people. At my age, I should be doing sex in the city, and instead I'm doing celibacy in the sticks.
Well, at least that way you're not hurting anyone, or getting your heart broken, or risking catching an antisocial disease.
Well, I wouldn't mind having the choice.
Well, I'll drink to that. Do you mind if I join you? I'll get them in, eh?
Go on then, yeah.
So, ladies, now you've had the grand tour, can I offer you a glass of wine?
Oh, thank you very much.
White, please, medium dry.
Never in a client's time, remember, Laurel?
I didn't realise you'd be starting straight away.
Off you go, then. You've done a fantastic job in here. So stylish.
Really? There's room for improvement, in my opinion.
Well, this place was a right dump before, thanks. Suppose Charity's giving you the potted history.
Well, it's a friend of yours, is she?
Her and me. You're joking.
I must admit, I was rather intimidated by her at first. But by the sounds of things, she's fitted more in the past few years than most people have in a lifetime.
Yeah, still, you've got to admire her. I mean, she might have started off selling her body on street corners, but she's always managed to drag herself up by her teeth.
She sold her body?
It's hardly a secret round here. That's how she met her late husband on a professional basis. And then he fell in love with her and they got married.
Well, how romantic.
And he just happened to be a millionaire a few times over. Talk about landing on her feet.
So, you got to the caravan with the heater for Robert, you opened the door, then what?
She's just going to sit here and wait till the coppers come and pick you up.
I'm sick of listening to you. Just get out my face.
Why should I? For all I know, I could be homeless tomorrow.
You'll stuff your guilt trip. You can't make me feel any worse than I already do.
It couldn't get any worse than it is now. We're doing fine here. Then you go and chuck it all away because you can't stand the thought of him and your woman together.
Will you stop going on and on and on? You're doing my head in. It's all over now. I might be in prison by the end of tonight, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm sorry if I can't stand any more of you whining, but for once I've got more important things in my life than you.
It can't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's illegal.
Donna, he doesn't even come close.
So when's his night off then?
So, I was about telling TJ's granddad I'd gone to the doctor's then.
What was he doing there?
Dawn took him for his hearing test this morning.
What hearing test?
We know about Katie and Robert, and the fact that there was bad blood between the brothers.
Now, we reckon when you opened that door, Andy was sitting on the other side waiting for his brother to walk through so he could blow him away. The only accident was he shot the wrong man. Am I getting warmer, Jack?
I've told you. Mine's a blank.
Now, some people might say that was a tad convenient, Jack, and as things stand, I'd agree with them.
What's your consultant's take on this amnesia?
I'm not feeling so good. I'm not up for this. Nurse!
Getting close to the bone, are we? You've got a little girl, Jack. How do you feel if you got his hands on her next?
I can't remember anything. I've nothing more to say.
What is it, Jack?
I'm not feeling too good, nurse.
Don't look at me like that, Terry. I would have let you know if it'd been important.
Everything about him's important.
I didn't think it'd bother you this much. I thought you'd just be glad to know everything's normal.
Good news or bad, I should have been there for him. I just wish you'd given me the chance, that's all.
Bob? Bob?
Look, if you're not interested, then you've got to tell her. Otherwise, she's going to make even more of a spectacle of herself than she is already.
It's a massive responsibility being an object of desire. I want to let her down gently. These cases of unrequited love, subtlety is all.
Subtlety is an alien concept to Donna.
I've done everything but fend her off with a pitchfork. You wouldn't have a word with her for me, would you?
I've seen a mother when she's thwarted, remember? It's volcanic.
Please, I'm desperate.
Leave it with me.
Okay.
Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. A good philosophy for life. Unless you're using it to shield a homicidal kid as a danger to himself and to others.
I remember opening the caravan door. Then everything went blank. How many more times do I have to tell you?
And that's your final answer, is it? We'll have to wait and see if this amnesia clears up, won't we, DC Crow? You're looking forward to going home, Jack?
What do you think?
Oh, you won't mind if we call in to see you settle back in, will you?
Do I have a choice?
Take care, Jack.
Your office is all done. Ship shape, Bristol fashion.
I'd like you to have another bash at this one. I want to come across as assertive but not aggressive.
No problem.
Oh, my other half, Ashley, is ever so good with correspondence. Never stop for an appropriate word. What with the practice he gets, you know, 3 sermons a week, young mums, all the Sunday school stuff, and he's always writing to the bishop. Sometimes I think, if he's using words all the time, then surely one day he's going to run out of things to say, like he's used every possible word that he can. What would you do? What would you do?
Oh, love, Charity and I could do with 5 minutes. Do you mind making a start in the hall?
You're the boss.
She is driving me demented.
Well, sounds like an excuse for an early lunch to me.
What do you think?
We've tons of paperwork still to do.
Oh, nothing that can't wait, I bet.
Get your coat. If I'm wanted, I'll be on my mobile.
Come on, Dad. I need to know, did you tell him about Andy?
I'm going to head off home, get things ready for Jack. So if you don't mind, I'd like to say my goodbyes in private.
Well, looks like we're in for another orange juice, Victoria.
Did you tell them?
Didn't have to. Way ahead of me. Got it all worked out for themselves.
So, what are we going to do now?
Hope that one of them has a sudden attack of conscience.
Realistically?
Go down the village, ask around, see if we can dig a little deeper.
What, keep banging our head against a brick wall? Jack's well liked round here. Nobody's going to drop him in it now.
I don't know till you try. I hate that village.
These little things, I mean, they're what being a dad's all about.
Well, let's keep things in perspective. It's only a doctor's appointment.
Yeah, but I knew this would happen once we split up. Bit by bit, I'm losing touch. I'm being excluded from his life.
Well, then you have to make sure that doesn't happen. I mean, if you want to be more involved, you have to be more proactive.
How can I be more proactive? I live down the road. I make sure I see him every day.
Well, you could gently remind Dawn that she has a responsibility to you as well as to TJ.
Well, if we hadn't split up, we'd have had him christened by now. Big do at the church, party hereafter.
Yeah, well, christenings are like weddings. They're highly overrated. You know, the baby always throws up over the vicar or screams the place down or gets dropped in the font, and afterwards everyone gets hideously drunk and out come the home truths. It's not worth it, Terry.
So we let him lose out, just because his parents don't live together. That's the one thing I swore would never happen.
Oh, I can't stand seeing you struggle. Why don't you let me help?
Because you don't work here, Donna.
Oh, I'm just doing you a favour, that's all.
Well, health and safety, you know, knives, hot liquids, and you're not insured.
Oh, no one's going to bother about that. Give it me a...
Well, Donna Poppet, if you can just give me a minute.
Go away, Bob. Can't you see we're busy?
This won't wait, love.
Hiya. Where's Loverboy?
Parking car. So why aren't you at work?
Because we got chucked out by Sadie. She seems to reckon me and Tom are in need of a romantic lunch.
Told you she couldn't be that bad. So are you in need?
If that's your less than subtle attempt to ask if we've done it yet, the answer is the same as it was yesterday.
Oh, charity dingle, playing hard to get. It's a dangerous game, love. You make him work too hard and he might just go right off the boil.
Well, if he thinks I'm worth it, I will be worth waiting for, won't I?
What can I get you, Charity?
Don't you think you might be better off with someone your own age?
The last bloke my own age ran off with my best mate.
Yeah, well, he might have got the bad apple there, admittedly, but, you know, there's plenty of other nice lads around.
Name one. So what's wrong with me going out with a more mature bloke anyway?
Nothing, as long as the more mature bloke wants to go out with you.
Trust me, Bob. He's fighting his feelings for me, that's all.
Yeah. Starsky and Hutch are back.
Yeah, they don't look as if they just popped in for a spot of lunch, either.
Who's in charge here?
I'm the joint licensee.
If you've no objections, we'd like to ask your customers a few questions.
Yeah, sure, go ahead, ask away. Can I get you a drink?
Not while we're working, thanks, love.
We're investigating a recent incident involving Jack Sugden and his sons. We understand that the boys weren't exactly the best of friends. Anybody care to elaborate?
I think the bitter needs changing.
Oh, Terry, Ethan told me you rang about a christening. TJ, I presume?
Yeah, oh, let's go somewhere where we can talk.
I've got a customer, excuse me.
Oh, I haven't lived here long enough to know the local gossip. Sorry.
Time for divide and rule technique. I'll take this side, you take the other.
Yes?
I just let myself in. There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
Ah, no. Well, that's because for some reason my staff insists on this rather antiquated institution called a lunch hour. To what do I owe this pleasure?
Well, I was rather hoping I could pick your brain.
Name the subject, dear lady.
My father-in-law's personal assistant and the exact nature of your working relationship.
Yeah, I do know Jack Sugden, but not very well. I've only recently come back into the area.
So you won't be up to speed on local history, then?
I know what I need to know.
Look, we were just enjoying a nice, quiet lunch. If you want to harass us, take us down the station.
Good to see you looking so well, Charity.
Well, I'm sorry that I cannot return the compliment. Now, do you want some, officer?
I realise you and your family have got your fingers on the pulse when it comes to matters dodgy and nefarious.
OK, what are you accusing me of
You'd
now,
tell
then?
me if there was something you think I ought to know about this feud between the Sugden lads, wouldn't you?
If I did know, which I don't, what would be the point anyway? Because I spent months telling you lot the truth and you didn't believe a word of it, did you?
Is there anything else we can help you with, officer?
That's all for now. Enjoy your lunch.
I actually walked out of court a free woman. You'd never believe it, though, would you?
When you leave, lock the door and set the alarm. The code's taped to the back of the key cupboard.
Right, yeah, yes.
Oh, and you missed a cobweb on your way up.
Thanks.
All right.
What can I get you?
I'll have 2 of those donuts.
Not for me. I'm watching my carbs.
And a couple of coffees.
So, is this business or pleasure?
You wouldn't mind answering a few questions for me, would you?
Well, if you'd have come to see me in the first place, you wouldn't have needed to come back now. Who shot Jack? That's what you're trying to find out, aren't you?
We are investigating a recent shooting incident involving the Sugden family, yeah.
Well, I said to Bob, that's my husband, everyone round here carries guns with them all the time without managing to shoot each other. And all that bad feeling between the brothers, well, if you ask me, it was an accident waiting to happen. And to think, my Donna went out with one of those boys.
Did she now?
One of who?
Remember my advice about coming clean to your sister before you got caught out?
You've got 2 seconds to explain what you're doing behind my bar in my pub, serving my beer to my customers.
Because in politics, sometimes the only way to expose corruption is by operating in a morally ambiguous arena oneself.
Oh, I see.
I won't go into detail. All I will say is that the photographs that emerged from this rather sordid episode were not the sort of thing you'd want printed in a family newspaper.
Well, you couldn't just make this up, could you?
Although she did revise her CV with Stalin's deficiency once she got married to Chris Tate. Became Lady of the Manor, captain of industry in one fell swoop. It's just a shame she chose to jeopardise all that with an ill-fated fling with her cousin. Rather a case of not knowing when she was on to a good thing, in my opinion. Cheers.
So if she's here, what's happened to Chaz?
Well, I had to let her go, and we were so short-handed that Val very kindly offered to help me out.
I bet she did. Knowing hell would freeze over before I'd let her pull another pint.
And there's something else you should know, isn't there, Rodney?
I hardly think this is an appropriate moment. How is Jack today, Diane?
If it's about the fact that you and Rodney have been carrying on while I've been away, I already know.
Well, that's the last time I trust you with a confidence.
I didn't tell her. Stands out a mile. You two have practically been wearing stickers on your forehead saying we're sleeping together.
Well, he wouldn't let us tell you. With Jack so poorly, Rodney said you'd be too upset.
We were hardly asking you for your blessing. It's just that we hope you come to accept the relationship.
A few days ago, I nearly lost my fella. Strangely enough, he's my priority at the moment, not the fact that you two are so hard up for company you're falling into bed together.
Well, bearing in mind the circumstances, I'll ignore that remark.
You can sleep together, run off to Gretna Green, do whatever the hell you want. But one thing I do know, I want Chaz back behind this bar and you out as soon as.
I think there's far too much water under the bridge for that to happen, Diane.
She only stays if I get Chaz back or we're looking for 2 new barmaids. It's up to you, ladies.
Well, if that helium-chested trollop comes back, I go.
Yeah, and if she doesn't, you go as well.
That's what you call a catch-22 situation.
And if I'm not careful, it's going to turn into a no-staff situation, so I think it might be in our best interest to work this one out.
I can't say I'll be sorry to see the back of this place.
Take care of yourself, Jack.
Thanks for everything.
Oh, no problem. Bye-bye.
Well, we can't hang around. We've left the car right at the front door on double yellows.
Coppers in the village asking questions. You're not told me yet, have you?
Why don't you get lost? Dad doesn't need any hassle from you.
If you gas him up, I won't have an home any longer. They'll take me away if he goes into prison.
I didn't want this to happen either, Dad. But now it has. I've got no choice. Andy's going to have to take the consequences.
The farm's the best place I've ever lived at. And Andy's all the family I've got. He's the only person that ever gives a stuff about me. If you get him sent down, then I've got nothing. Why should I have to suffer for something that he's done?
He's a lying, cheating, two-timing creep. All the time he was with me, he was seeing Katie behind my back.
And he gave her an STD.
Cheers, Mum. Why don't you tell the whole world?
So you'll know the brothers better than most?
Why do you want to know?
Well, it's obvious, Donna. Either Andy or Robert went berserk with a shotgun. That's why Jack's in hospital. Isn't that right, officer?
Couldn't possibly comment, Mrs. Hope.
There's no way. Rob might be a prat, but he wouldn't shoot anyone. He's too much of a wimp for starters.
Whereas Andy is a completely different matter. You do know they're not real brothers, don't you? Andy's adopted. Well, his father is a dyed-in-the-wool career criminal. In fact, he's still doing time for the murder of my late husband. Armed robbery.
So what? Doesn't mean Andy's done anything to Jack, does it?
Well, what about the time you went over to the farm and found half the wall blown away? That was Andy, wasn't it?
That's different. He only just found out about Katie and Robert. He was dead upset.
Any idea what or who he was aiming at, Donna?
It just went off. I wasn't there, was I? They reckon it was an accident.
Beginning to have a familiar ring to it.
No, Andy thinks the world of Jack. He's always gone on about family and that. He's grateful to Jack for taking him in. He'd never do anything to hurt him.
Even though he lost his own chance of having a family, because his wife ran off with his brother.
But what if he wasn't expecting his dad to come through that caravan door? What if he was expecting his brother?
Well, that makes perfect sense to me.
Like Andy's some sort of murderer? I don't believe it. There's no way.
He's way too soft for prison. You know what happens to lads like him inside? It won't last 5 minutes.
I've heard enough, Taryn.
That's where they kill themselves. They give up. They reckon it's the only way out. Look, just don't do it to him, please.
We'd best get the car shifted.
Look, families stick together. They don't walk away when the going gets tough. You owe him.
I owe him nothing. Not any longer. But you're coming with us. We can drop him off, can't we?
suppose we're forgetting the fact that Diane knows us so intimately that we're practically transparent.
Yeah, you could have spared your crow's feet all those sleepless nights.
I must admit, I did expect something more of a reaction.
Disappointed, are you, Rodney?
Well, she'd have been more interested if we stood in front of her and read Marlon's bar snack menu.
Well, what did you expect? Her to burst into tears, fall to her knees and beg you to reconsider because she couldn't bear the thought of you with another woman. Oh, you egocentric swine, Rodney Blackstock.
Sibling rivalry. Powerful force, isn't it, Louise?
Tom, I've got an urgent message for you. There's some trouble up at the yard with a work permit.
Thanks, love. I best get back.
Oh, you haven't finished your lunch.
Well, if there's any trouble, I best nip it in the bud.
Well, there's no need for Charity to leave, is there? I mean, I'd hate to have to finish this on my own.
No. Just stay as long as you like, love.
Well, if you're sure. If there is a problem with the permits, paperwork's at the office.
Nothing I can't handle myself. Enjoy yourself, girls.
We will. It's about time we had a little chat. Just the two of us.
Daddy! That's funny, I didn't hear the car.
Is your dad in, love?
No. He's not back from the hospital yet.
Oh, we'd like another word. And it's rather urgent. You don't mind if we come inside and wait, do you?
Well, if you're staying, you'd best sit down.
This young lady can show me a colouring book while we wait.
What are you doing with my dad?
I'm sorry. I tried, but he didn't want to know.
Come on, son. Let's go.
We didn't exactly get off on the right foot, did we?
Well, as I remember, it was my foot went from under me when you decided to push me down the stairs.
Now, these compromising photographs you did for Eric Pollard, did you keep any copies? Or are they still popping up on the internet?
My, you work fast.
It's funny, because Tom never mentioned your previous career as a prostitute. What's the matter, Charity? Have you not told him yet?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, love, but Tom knows all about that. And he agrees with me. It's in the past, and it's best forgotten about.
Oh, but you won't have told him every sordid little detail, will you?
What do you mean by that?
Every grubby little encounter. Each time you got into a punter's car or went with them to their hotel
That
room.
was a long time ago, and it's got naught to do with me and Tom.
Well, it would if you turned up to one of his business dinners to find an ex-client sitting there. I can't see Tom appreciating that.
I did what I had to do to survive, right? And you won't ever make me ashamed of my past.
Then why haven't you mentioned it to Tom? Or is that the deal you have going with him? I mean, you slept with your last husband for money, didn't you?
What's she done? Oh, don't tell me you've sacked her already.
Why do you always assume the worst when it comes to Laurel?
Well, can you think of any other reason why she's avoiding me?
Oh, look, she was hard at it when we left, right?
She's gone missing, and we were wondering if you could shed any light on her whereabouts.
Well, shouldn't she have finished by now?
Well, I last spotted her on the stairs, unless... Where did you last see Damon?
Who on earth is Damon?
It's her dog. Flaming great mastiff.
Is it vicious?
Only when provoked. If she so much as laid a finger on him, you can forget all about this contract. It'll be me taking you to the cleaners. Laurel!
Hi. How are you fixed tomorrow night about 6?
Brad Pitt is picking me up for a date. Where do you think I'm going to be?
Well, it's just I've arranged for us to meet Ashley. Talk about TJ's christening.
Christening.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Well, why bother with all this church stuff with him when we don't go ourselves unless somebody's dead or getting married?
Well, it's a done thing, isn't it?
No, it's hypocritical more like. And he's way too young anyway. I'm not having him indoctrinated.
It's his christening we're talking about, not some induction into a weird cult.
If he wants to get into religion when he's older, that's fine. But I don't want to be responsible for inflicting it on him when he can't even speak up for himself. Sorry, Terry, but it's not going to happen.
We're back.
Daddy.
So, you decided on a welcoming committee. I'm touched.
We were making some routine inquiries when something new came up. Thought we might run it past you.
Victoria, go upstairs with your brother and stay up there till I call you back down.
Why don't we just come home?
Please. Just while I have a talk with Mr. Kiesel.
Come on, Victoria.
So, what's all this about?
I was rather hoping you could tell me.
Demon, don't worry, darling. I'm on my way.
Laurel! Laurel, can you hear me?
Damon, darling, did the nasty lady frighten you?
Oh, it's okay, Laurel.
Oh.
Open your eyes now.
I thought he was going to eat me like my Uncle Stefan and the grizzly bear.
Oh,
now,
Laura.
Mummy's here. Everything's going to be okay, isn't it, darling?
So, now we know that Andy's not averse to taking the odd pot shot indoors when he gets upset. It casts a rather different light on this little accident of yours, doesn't it?
It's all speculation. You can't prove anything.
Well, Donna seemed quite sure about the facts. As soon as Andy found out about his brother and Katie, he went off on one with a shotgun.
That was different. He was upset, shocked, all over the place. He didn't hurt anybody.
So, after a few days of stewing over it, he lost it again. Then he nipped up to Robert and Katie's caravan where he reckoned he'd finished the job. Only he wasn't expecting you to come through that door, was he, Jack? It was his brother he were after, wasn't it?
No, that's not how it happened.
So, suddenly your memory's come back, has it?
You jump into conclusions. I keep telling you, it was all an accident.
You don't know that, Jack. You can't remember.
I do remember. It all came back after you left the hospital this morning. I just left the caravan. The lads were shooting rabbits. I got in the way. It was an accident. A stupid, senseless accident.
And you'd sign a statement to that effect, would you?
What's the matter with you? Are you so desperate to push up your crime figures you've got to manufacture crimes that don't exist?
I don't know why we bother with people who dial 999, because most of them reckon they're above the law in the first place.
I've told you all I know.
Then we're obviously wasting our time, aren't we?
That'd better be an end of it.
Looks like it'll have to be. But if you want my opinion, you're misguided. That lad's got a temper and a grudge to settle. Now, we may have taken his shotgun off him, but he won't find it hard to find another weapon round here. Now, I hope, for your sake, he doesn't take it upon himself to finish the job.
So do I.
Inbred, knuckle-dragging, welly-wearing half-wits. Boy's a bad one, just like his dad.
I don't get it. Sugden could have died. Why would he let him get away with it?
Prefer to dispense with the law and impose their own form of justice in a place like this. It's like the Wild West, without the lynch mob, but with added sheep. You've got to face it. Short of administering a truth drug, there's nothing much more we can do.
It's like having my own personal stalker. Whenever I turn round, she's just there.
It's more serious than I thought. Poor kid's infatuated with you.
I haven't encouraged her, honest.
You made her laugh once too often. You know, women have this perverse attraction to blokes who make them laugh. You could look like Brad Pitt on a good hair day, but unless you make a titter, you're never going to get off the starting blocks.
There was only one woman for me, Bob. Okay, there won't be another. Ever.
So that is what you need to tell Donna. Hey, and make sure that she knows that you mean it.
What did you think it'd do? Lick you to death?
That woman's unbelievable. She could see you were terrified, but she only seemed to be concerned about the animal.
Or dog people are all like that. They tell you Fido's only playing right up to the moment he disappears with half your leg hanging from its jaw.
Ah!
You all right, Laurel?
She's adamant that she don't want them christened. Well, she would, if it had nothing to do with the church.
Well, not everyone can get worked up about religion.
Well, it's important to me. She just dismissed it out of hand. Even though it was something that we could both do for him, as a family.
Well, I kind of see where she's coming from, Terry. I mean, why pretend you're a family when you're not?
I'm on the mend now, but I'm not stupid. I mean, I know that I haven't got another 30 years in me. So every day I see him growing up, well, it's something to be celebrated. I want to make the most of every landmark whilst I'm still here to enjoy it. Who's to say if I'll still be here when he gets married?
Charity not with you?
No, she'd have been sitting here twiddling her thumbs, so I told her to go straight home.
Did you have a good time?
So good, we're going to make it a regular date.
Are you?
I'm in dire need of a partner in crime. You know, no thanks. The two things I've missed since we moved up here, Tom, are decent shops and female company. You don't mind, do you?
Sure. Why would I? No, I'll be glad to see you hit it off.
You know, just talking to her over lunch made me realise what a sheltered life I've had. She's really been through the mill, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's had it tough at times, eh?
One of life's survivors. I'll give her that. I don't think I could have lived her life and come through unscathed.
Why? What's she been saying?
No, nothing specific. But there's a sadness there, you know, behind the eyes. And it speaks volumes. I can honestly say I've never met anyone quite like her. I'm going to make myself a peppermint tea.
Sorry, Daz, I sold you. It wasn't me that sent him.
Well, you can relax now, Andy. You got away with it. Police won't be bothering you again. Making me the third member of this family to perjure myself on your behalf.
You didn't have to.
Andy, come in for some tea.
Leave us alone for a minute, will you, love? I've been inside myself. Wouldn't suit you, being banged up. And I don't want a prison suicide on my conscience.
I don't deserve this.
It comes at a price, Andy. You and me, we're finished. From now on, you're on your own.
I'll go to the police. I'll confess everything, anything to make this up to you.
I've given you one last chance. From now on, it's up to you. You either make something of your life, or you go the same way as your dad.
But you're my dad, not him.
You've always been a hotwood underneath. I've done all I can. Good luck, lad. From now on, you're on your Please, Dad. Anything but this.
But one day, you'll look back and realise that all this trouble and pain and upset was caused by some selfish slip of a girl. I just hope you think she was worth it.